So in step one of setting up the Gravity Series 600 grill from Masterbuilt, we went through the whole build process. Got this guy from coming out of a box to a fully built, ready to go unit. And now we got to get it ready to actually be used for food cooking. And that's through a process called pre-seasoning. Essentially what you do is you're going to burn off all the chemicals and stuff that was put into it from the factory. Anything that you don't want on your food, we want to use heat treatment to get all those chemicals out of there. So today we're going to pre-season the grill and get it ready for first use. Let's get to it. So I will say this real quick before we actually start doing it. This is all detailed in the instruction booklet. It is called pre-seasoning. It tells you, it's basically a 7-step procedure. Now to go through this, essentially we're gonna put some charcoal in there. We're gonna start it up, get it up to 250 degrees, let it go at 250 for an hour. And then after an hour at 250, we set the temperature to 400, we go for another 30 minutes. Then we shut it down, let it cool down completely. Just let it cool down. Then you rub a light skin of, or basically some cooking oil on the grates. You just put a light coating of oil to pre-season the grates themselves. Then we're going to kick it back on, repeat steps 3 through 6, essentially set it, get it up to 350 degrees for another 30 minutes. So this is not a process that's going to be done in an hour. It's going to take a while. It's not going to take a whole lot of work on your part other than getting it up to temperature, and then setting your stopwatch. So we're going to skip all the in-between times, and you're only going to see start and finishes at each time zone. But today, right now, I guess, we're going to fill the hopper with charcoal quarter to halfway full. Let's do that. So I do apologize. It is windy out, so yay. So yep, I'm down here. I'm clean. I have no things in there other than what should be in here. And I have my lump charcoal from Mastercraft. I think it's actually about a third, so right in between that. Let me get my hands all black, but that's all right. We're going to close that guy, get ready for the next section. Now before we get too deep, I do want to plug this guy in. I have not plugged it in yet, actually. And this 20-foot long power cord is pretty awesome. It goes in and then turns, so you can hear the beep. We do have actual power there. All right, and turns off. Now we're going to leave it off for now while we get the fire starter in there. Now if you haven't realized, part of this process of pre-seasoning is also starting the grill. And so we already have the hopper with charcoal in here. Now we have the item here, this little hole right here. This is essentially where the fuel starter is going to go, the fire starter. So I have these Masterbuilt fire starters. I'll grab one of these out of the pack right here, put it in here, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it all the way in and then start it. I'm starting it from 2 different corners. Looks like it's going really good. I'm going to give it a minute or so. I think they say 2 minutes, let it get going good, and then we'll kick the grill on, because we want to make sure that the fire starter is on really well before we start blowing air on it. Before we go any further, I'll show you. In there real good. Okay, fire starter is definitely going. Okay, now we're going to turn this guy on. I'm going to hit the temperature button and set it to 250. So set it to my desired temperature. And hopefully now I can hear the fan going. One thing I want to do is remove both of these slides as well. So I kind of forgot that part, but I'm going to, yeah. So right now we're 124 degrees, so we are going up, which is a good sign, which means it's staying lit and it's actually going forward. So we're just going to let it get it up to temperature, and then when we get to 250, then we can just start the timer. Okay, so we are at the 250 mark. Now I'm going to set my timer for 60 minutes. I'll be back after that. Okay, it has been an hour. Now we're going to jump this guy up to 400. So we're going to, oh yeah, you can hear the fan kick on. Once we get to 400, we're going to go for another 30 minutes. So we're just coming up to 400 here. We're just at 387, almost there, but I did want to point out real quick. Now I'm doing this in this order because that's just how I did my first video. But in all reality, you could do the Wi-Fi setup next before you do the preconditioning, the pre-seasoning of this grill. That way, at least you could see what the temperature is from wherever you are. Now, of course, I'm doing a video. I'm doing this from wherever I want. So I did want to point that out before you actually, you can watch this video in any order because I'm going to do the Wi-Fi setup next. But yeah, once this gets to, it's almost there. The fan cooled down there for a second because it was approaching the 400. But I'm going to wait till it gets to 400 before we do the next 30 minutes. And then, of course, like 10 seconds after I turn off the camera, we're at 397. Pretty much, yeah, 401. So now I'm going to do my 30-minute timer and I'll be back. Okay, so we have been at 400 degrees for over 30 minutes now. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the power off, goes to hold, and disconnect the power altogether. Once I do that, then I want to actually come over here, make sure everything's shut, and then put our, I guess this one goes up top actually. That one guy in there, that guy in there. So now that we have everything shut off there, we let the grill cool. Now the next step, after this completely cools, so give it time, let it completely cool, we're gonna come back and turn it back on, get it going back up to temperature. Actually, before we do that, we wanna actually wipe the grates down with an oil, basically a vegetable oil, or basically we're seasoning the grates so things don't stick to it. So that's the next step, but we want to get this cool to the point where we can apply the oil. Now they say let it cool completely all the way down. Let it cool to the point where it's not too crazy warm, but essentially putting in the sliders here cuts off air circulation to the hopper, which means the charcoal itself should start going out slowly over time. And that's the big thing, making sure that goes out, and then we'll get ready to start it back up when we go to do the next step. The unit has been cooling down now for a little while. It is warm, not cold, but warm. I can put my hands on it and I'm not getting burned. So I'm good with starting to at least put the oil on the grates. In this case, I'm just gonna take some paper towels, put some oil on it, and then rub the grates down real good, just to make sure that it gets full coverage, and then we'll work on starting it back up. And I think it's at 350 degrees for a half hour. So yeah, this is this first. Now this isn't rocket science at all, but you're just gonna wanna try to get the grates, at least a decent coverage. You can kind of get the, the paper towel and stuff kind of in between each grate. Just kind of take your time and just work your way through it. I'm gonna take my time and go through this and then work our way to the next section. And I am happy with that. Paper towel, it sometimes leaves a little bit, but at least the nice thing is with a little bit of charcoal dust that we had on the grills, it was easy to see how much I was getting covered. So now that that's done, let's get it started again. So just like before, I'm gonna go ahead and open up this guy here. This guy's probably gonna be a little warmer than the rest of it. Stick him in there, get him a light. So now that it's lit, I'm gonna give it a couple minutes just to light up, and then we'll get the power plug back in. Okay, I did make sure that was good. I'm gonna go ahead and put the power back on here. And now we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. I set the temp to 350. Ooh, jumped over there. And we're gonna let it go to 350, and then I'll be back. As before, we do also wanna make sure we take out the air and heat intake slides. Remove those and let her go. Okay, we are at 350. We start the timer for 30 minutes. That's 30 minutes. So what I can do over here is I can push and hold here and turn off that guy and unplug it from power. And then I'm gonna slide the heat and air guards back in. And we're gonna let it cool down. That's it. So that's it. That's the pre-seasoning setup of the Gravity Series 600 Masterbuilt grill. Now, it's really easy. It's just time consuming. So figure out a time when you can set it and you can go get other things done. So I actually cut the grass while I was doing the initial portion. But once you do this, you won't have to do it again. Like the last part, the last 30 minutes is really seasoning the grates so that they don't have food stick to them as well. So we're all set here. It's really easy to, I did the full setup video, actually installing this, setting it up from the box. Now I've done the pre-seasoning video. Next is going to be the Wi-Fi. All three of these are going to be launched on the same day. So check them out at your leisure. Bounce back and forth between them and let me know what you think. So far, and of course I haven't cooked on it yet, but the setup procedure, this one was easier to actually build than the Series 545. Not crazy easier, but definitely was easier. And the seasoning method was exactly the same, and I'm sure the Wi-Fi is going to be exactly the same. So check out the videos that I have on all three of these, as well as my full review video that'll be coming after I'm actually using it and actually grilling on it and actually figuring out how well I can smoke meats and stuff on it. Thanks for watching to the end of this video right here on GeekSmart. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and then check us over on TechGooch for all the video reviews. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.